Oh, and a delicious Dreki drink. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Dreamer. We're gonna need that energy as we go into Citizen Sleeper today. I don't know if this is like the end. It feels like an end gamey arc. But we found like one ending and it kind of let us continue. So we'll have to see if this ends up getting to another final ending or if there's more we can discover in this game. So if I remember where we were last time, we were getting in with the commune on the green side of the ring, and we were helping some refugees who were fleeing some of their colony ships, and I fucked up my timing, so we were unable to get all the supplies to them. Or we got all the supplies. We failed to make a successful plan to get the supplies to them. So then we moved into the next phase of it, and there was a... I don't know if it was a pulsar, but it was something fucky-wucky in the EM spectrum because it really shorted us out. And it seems to be what the people were fleeing from, some kind of wave propagating out that's messing with electronics. So we're kind of working with the colony ships and figuring out more information and seeing what the hell's going on. We also learned that there was a weapons cache in the group that was delivering supplies, and the government on the ring confiscated it. So yay, projectile weapons in a high tension situation. Surely this has no chance of boiling over in a dangerous way. Let's get into the game. I'll hold on to that upgrade point because I don't know what I have. I guess we go ahead and yeah, because I always seem to end at the end of a cycle, so I need to find one of my eepy skeegee places. Yeah, okay. We have a good amount of money. We have a medicine. Get my fragment spores. Mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. Okay. Oh, hold on. I need food. That was almost a mistake. Not castor. Where's emphasis? Yeesh. Now that's the good shit. And the docks are cleaned out. Yes. Back to the Greenway. Let's eat at our Hyphodorum. Wait, active scenes. What am I missing? Do I have something with the colonies to... Oh, I do. Ember's Step Refugee. A strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. Piles up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It is a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure, standing at the viewing window, so quietly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they there before you were? Their cloth-swaddled form reveals little. It is. Shai Hulud! Do they have a sandworm in there? They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material. dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. Ooh. I like the colors on this person. It's like sunset, and they have all this, you know, these cloths draped. Very cool, very cool. This is Aki. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki. They smile, a tight smile. You're not from the flotilla, am I right? I'm not from anywhere. Everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes, whether it is a good place to be from or not. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold, which brings you to the wind's long shadow. Wind's long shadow? The ship. Aki looks at you curiously. Do you often wander around ships you don't know the name of? You are a strange one. Aki raises an eyebrow. I don't know whether to report you or send you back where you came from. She smiles to herself, which is nowhere at all. You suddenly glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you have been on in the flotilla, there's a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in this moment it feels unsettling. What happened here? Aki squints. That is a broad question, and I am not in the mood to recount the history of this ship or step. Step? Aki turns away, irritated, eager to change the subject. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance this place has with that word. There's nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape. Aki begins. Simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sand and dirt beneath. You watch the dust swirling. Systems that are failing. The flux of it. Aki glances at you for a sign of recognition at this term. Is eroding our ability to keep this place alive. To keep these traces of step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic, because when we left step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now, the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, these ecosystems are as fragile as we are, living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds, picking away at the dunes, begin to reveal something. A network of thick branching forms. And when they close completely, you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplighting Aki in a cold cyan. You have piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired. Aki shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on this ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we will get another chance to talk. She turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away along the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots under the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Interesting. Songs Hub. Okay. So, unloading supplies. Repair systems. Let's make yourself useful. Is this also... Okay, so this is unfinished business. Make yourself useful, unfinished business. Node in the waste. Program seed. Okay. Step, song, and hearth. Okay, so I think this is tracking because there's 3 ships in the flotilla. So I need to assist all 3 ships. So this one, I need to give them supplies. This one, I need to help in the dust house. This one, I need to unload supplies. All right. Cool. We have a bunch of Metsuke caps and really nothing else to use them on. We can burn a bunch of these because we don't really have a use for them. We're kind of getting them as a part of getting club heads, which we can turn club heads into free stabilizer. So as a byproduct, we do end up with a lot of mushrooms. I think we're going to keep ourselves at 4 and 5 dice. I think we have enough money and supplies to be able to do that. And we're kind of... I don't want to get down to three actions because one of the reasons we failed the first part of this chain event was being action starved. All right, we got 4 more turns before our mushrooms grow. A lot more turns before this grows, and we can find out more about the gardener. We only need 2 club heads per medicine, so that's pretty good. If we harvest and immediately replant every 4 cycles, I think we'll stay pretty damn stable. All right, now we can EP. Ooh, that's some low frickin' dice. We're just gonna re-roll those. Ooh, all right, we got a 6 there. That's not too bad. I'm most intrigued about this place, but also we are really good at interface actions. Nice. We do have a 6 to burn. Endurance is not our best, so we'll go ahead and use it here. Ooh. So that'll trigger something, and it might be a negative event. Let me see. Aw, negative outcome. Lame. Alright. Try this again. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, we need to get more food in us, because I fucked that up. There's emphasis. Pretty affordable and gets us a hell of a lot of food. Okay. All right. Let's make sure we take our stabilizer. We can maintain our dice and the cycle. Ooh, baby. Now that is some rolls. Hell yeah. All right, first things I'm going to do is get our food. Make sure we don't starve. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, we still got time before more supplies arrive in the docks. Okay, does this place... It doesn't go down. So I think we need to do this. But it will still trigger something. Maybe I'll leave that one for last. All right. See where this ends up. Nice. And we will finish the repair. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure of what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye. But after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux event reaching all the way out here too. Aki stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust house's need is that the problem that concerns us. She smiles and turns to you. Shall we go inside? I mean, I'd love to. See, I actually work over at this greenhouse. I kind of got a little bit of experience in this, and yeah, you know, this is a different biome, but you know, maybe I can help out. I'm pretty good at this computer thing. I can fix things. In fact, I'm half computer. Aki smiles. She taps away at a panel by the window. Seems only fair that after your help with the support systems, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark, changing room. You notice Aki is sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. He looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside, it's just like Ember's step. An atmosphere. Constant dust storms. Nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however. So take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels and purifying light, and then through into the dust house. Immediately, the wind and the heat hits you. You feel as though rough waves of dust scattering across your face. You peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step. Or an emulation of it, at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. Been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust. So did everything else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand, like a coil of rope. Look down. You instinctively look down and see something pale and twisted poking out of the sand. Aki sees you looking. This is step silk, one of the plants we established on the steppe. She kicks away at some red dust. Like any bast fiber, can be redded and woven into clothes, wearing some made from it myself. One of many species adapted to steppe since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. He stares out into the swirling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are. The dust houses hold hundreds of other species. You look at the pale, unassuming root, threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It will be easier to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from you both with a burst of metallic-tasting air, and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both masks, patiently awaiting your questions. What happened on Ember's step? Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Step was already a doomed world, she sniffs. And Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Cybele. They believed they could build an atmosphere. But the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. At the time of the Solheim collapse, the atmosphere was already fading. Cybele's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Cybele fell too. Researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, our parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon. The steppe silk, the other adapted species, of the life's work of the steppe's colonies. When the flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon, the only traces of steppe will be on this ship. Aki begins to cry quietly. You're unsure of what to do. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is... You know, they're... It's easy... It's kind of a... It's like an ecological destruction situation, but it's sort of like their whole planet, and they're like refugees carrying a bit of their culture and land with them through sailing through space. This is just kind of... Oof, man, this game is... I think this game just does a wonderful, amazing job of taking real life parallel kind of event. You can kind of map some of these situations, but it's still in this sci-fi setting, and it just does really good work. Cole, Sorrel, hi. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, we're being EP citizens, and we're helping the flotilla. Sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why this ship, why the refugees from Steppe are so different. Their world was already dying when the flux arrived. Ember's Steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture. And yet, when the flux events started, its people had to leave. You think of the eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed. She sniffs. We carry the steppe for them. Perhaps there's still hope. We learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them, and any future they can build with the time they have. She stands up. I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain. He leads you back, out into the corridor. If the flux events continue to reach out to the eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. Aki meets your eye. I can help. Aki smiles weakly. I knew it. You'll be welcome on the wind's long shadow, whenever you wish. These dust houses are already decaying. I have seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought they would last longer. The last flux event. Help us. Aki looks at you. Please. I will. When you are ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next flux event. Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears. She takes a breath. I will see you soon. Aki drifts away down the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember's Step. Hair for the step silk. Oh, with the shielding. Both of them give interesting. This gives us +3 potentially, so we'll probably be doing this one. Rion, hi. I hope you're doing well this evening. All right, we have 2 more die we can use. We need more spores because next cycle it's going to be harvest time in the mushroom house. Where is it? I think it's the mushroom groves. There it is. Collect spores. I believe we need 3 spore. Okay. I believe that's enough to replant once we harvest. We'll have that ready. And then for our last dye... Let's help the pilgrim seed. Mushroom time. Yes, delicious, delicious mushrooms. See, is there anything I'm missing? Study the flux. Deliver from a node in the wastes that appeared. Fuck! I forgot I needed to hack this. All right. All right, next cycle, mushrooms, and then if I can, hack. Got it, got it, got it. Time to EP the skeegees. Okay, the hacker. Yes, I'm a hacker worm. See, I have my hacker cozy. I'm snug as a worm in a rug. That node is so fluxed up on a Friday night. Sheesh. Okay, first we need to harvest our mushrooms. Good shit. Good shit. Let's reroll our die. Perfect. This upgrades to a 6. Swiggity swooty, I have acquired the mushroom booty. All right, we have enough spores to get this started again. God, I love the music in this game. Okay, the docks have not arrived yet. We do need to eat. Now, we can't hack because I need a 6, 5, or 4, unfortunately. I think there's something we can do over here. I don't want to use my low dice on something important, so we'll just use it over here. Actually, engineering, build the still. I would need 5 points to get all the way over there. I'll just try and finish building the still. I think that's what we'd use. So we have something to spend the grill caps on. Ooh, nice. Random scrap. We can make use of that. Also finish building this makeshift apartment. I think that'll give us a skill point too, so that could be useful to just polish off. I think it'll take 2 die to do though. End a cycle. Uh-oh. Sleeper. Long time. Moritz is smiling at you when you leave. Literally happy to see you again. Moritz, it's good to see you. Same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How have you been? Ah! Chimera! You didn't even throw me at the Dreki drink! You just baited me! Oh, I lost my... Whoop, there went gravity, chat. Yeah, you know, the flux event's been messing up this space station, so sometimes this happens, and we just gotta wait for things to kick back on. You know, we got backups to the backup systems, you know, eventually. Yeah, it really sucks that you threw me into the void, so I got all this momentum, and then, oh, there we go. Gravity's back. Oh, been working hard. I bet. He grins. Well, you were always welcome to hang out at the bay if you want. He glances around. Actually, that's what I'm here about. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she's changed her mind. Or something. He grins. Because now we have someone looking for a refit of their ship in our bay. You would not believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed. Cutting out defense arrays, weapons lockers, ship-to-ship countermeasures, the whole lot. He leans in. They'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we're done. He laughs. Anyway, it's a massive job and we need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. So come on up. Bliss is waiting on you to accept the job. He pauses. It'll be good to have you up there again. He grins. Like old times. Neat. Alright, let's go ahead and synthesize some stabilizer. In fact, we can get 2. Alright. Nope. Before I do anything, we're hacking. Hate to burn a 5 or a 6, but we need it. Oh, +2. I could have used one of my 2s. I'm a fool! Damn it. Whatever. I meant to do that. Alright. Let's ascend to the hub and take a look at that job that Bliss has. We enter the bay. It's weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is prepping the kit? Nkita. Oh, the mercenary. Oh, wow. I haven't seen this portrait of hers before. Oh! Is it her ship that they're demilitarizing? She's gonna stop being a mercenary? Ooh. Sleeper. Nkita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. The idea of not seeing Nkita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago. But seeing her without her armor, she seems smaller, less imposing. Finally got rid of the armor. She ignores her remark. So what is this? She asks. Come to avenge Ashton or his sleeper? Or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar, but quieter than before. Restrained. I don't want your dirty money. Don't start. Don't start. Yeah, and Kita's arc was hella oof. Start what? You are the one who followed me up here. She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they are going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita start standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the... Oh. She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, you two know each other? You and Kita look at each other. She's a killer. We work together. Bliss squints at you before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. He looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you. Bliss pauses, and everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed. She gives Ankita a strange smile. Oh, fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. And she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What is she so nervous about? This isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Cassetta, Ankita, she gives you a knowing look, doesn't have the chips to pay us. So, we've made a special agreement. He sighs. I'm leaving. Joining a mercenary crew? Don't make me laugh. Ankita is an ex-merc. Why do you think she's getting us to remove all her ship's armaments? Amber. The ship is called Amber. Bliss gives you a funny look. There's a deep history there, huh? She holds up a hand to stop you from answering. Look, all I care is that she's headed to the starboard belt. She looks out at the bay. That's where I'm headed. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask. She stops, unsure. If you'd like to come with us. Oh, okay, so another possible ending, perhaps? Yeah, sure. She interrupts before you answer. I know, things have been hard for you on the eye, and you've helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry two of us, and she said yes. Morris will take over the bay anyway, although if you say you are welcome to help him run it, I just thought... He sighs. You might be in need of a fresh start, as much as I am. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. You've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. Starboard belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. All right. We can certainly display like, yeah, Ursula Gwyn has some banger books. Rolled it into a 1. Great, fantastic. All right, that is almost done. Descend. Ah! I have descended. Okay. We need to burn this one, and we'll just do it here. Fitty. Nice. Wait a minute. I think the scrap ship docked. Perfect. Use of purchases. Sometimes we can get a ship mine fragment. With our discounts, we're not really losing a lot. Yeah, ship mine fragment, baby. 2 ship mine fragments. Hells to the yeah. Okay, we can make a ship mined core. We find the novellas dispossessed and they're all hacking it. Yes, yes, yes. Was it Le Guin that actually, I have it right behind. No, that's okay. So Trader Barrow Coromont was by someone else. I know she did Earthsea. What's the other book series I'm thinking of? I think I had it as a ebook. Was it this? No, okay, so that's N.K. Jemisin. Never mind. I was thinking of the Broken Earth trilogy, which was really interesting. At least the first book was really good. Second one was pretty solid until like the last 5th, and it feels like it kind of got a little odd. And then the last book was okay? I don't know. There's one element that's introduced near the end of the second book that I feel like really made some of the stuff weird, world building wise. And it kind of lost me a little bit. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of... No, it happened in Trader Barrow Coromont too. Both of those books had really amazing first books in their trilogies, and then a little weirdness in the second one, and then the third book sticks the landing, but I feel like it could have been better if it hadn't had that weirdness. What was it? Right, I was selling that ship mine for a fuck ton of money. Hell yeah. The Greenway. Okay, so this should be finishing soon. End the cycle. Thought something appeared there. Okay. Let's get them the flux data. Sleeper, come look at this. Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suite they have set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways, like an ingrown root ball, has started to untangle. I love Peak. Yeah, Peak is Peak them. Peak MB. This is an existing node, corrupted by the flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you are listening. Inside, you watch as the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces, like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving. Is a whole nother data set. Peak's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The flux event somehow seeds this data deep in the gaps of the node, wrapping them around it. Why? Peak pauses. I have no idea. You watch the screen, the pattern of shadows becoming obvious now that each layer of pathways is pulled away. The flux event itself really did a number on unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the eye's systems are screened against radiation and interference, but these exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with their hands, torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look, here. Looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings, and the flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the systems came back on, hence the triangle. Tangle. Peak pauses as the node continues to unwind. Although... What the heck? Ice! Eeper! What is that lizard? That's a pink lizard in danger distance. And then it's just a purple square. I hope you're having a good evening, Ice. Thanks for stopping on by. Subscriptions are never necessary, but always appreciated. Lord is a silly pink jerk, so true. Although, he muses, is less like shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. I smile sheepishly, but that's a technicality. So what is the flux? You know, it is a wave, one with exotic effects. That's all. Peak runs a hand through their hair. The question is not so much what the flux is, but what is causing it. Where is it coming from? Peak turns away from the screen, meeting your eye. And there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? A little. Peak lowers their voice instinctively. They are reporting massive systems failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption. Peak swallows. The flux couldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded. Totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, fail-safes and all, it doesn't make sense. Those kinds of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The flux event might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peak looks back at the screen. The decoding node lies almost fully open. A shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen, like a set of bruises showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea of what might be causing this wave, triggering the flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Peak shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself, for now. I need something to do. Flotilla could surely do with the help. When I heard from Ash, things are tense here. Where is Ash? Peak glances around the bay. Must be out. I've been focusing on this, so I can't say I've noticed. Although, the quiet is nice. They smile. Give me some time, Sleeper. Peak turns back to the console. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave. The dark shapes it leaves behind somehow troubling. But shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. Alright, so we just gotta wait for 6 cycles. Gotcha. Okay. Now if we head here... finish sealing this unit. And this should finish it off. Nice. +1 upgrade point. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Stray animal? Oh, fuck yeah. We're gonna feed some kipties. Kipty! The stray hops up onto a work surface, turns out and looks out the unit's small window. It doesn't acknowledge your presence. It sits there, beside the tray of crumbled crackers, staring out at the low end. What is this cat's story? Are there more on the station? We haven't seen another in the low end, but in this vast megastructure, that means little. It could be a whole colony of cats like this one down in the Warrens. You look at its sleek fur, dark fur, sharp eyes. It doesn't look ragged, it looks at home. In fact, its presence in the unit makes you wonder if this stray's apartment, which you're currently squatting in. Watch Kipti. But the stray is looking out at the station. You feel its attention on you, waiting for you to spring your trap. You remain relaxed and watch as something flickers in its eyes. Perhaps the reflection of a passing ship. The stray settles a little and starts eating, picking at the broken crackers. You don't remember ever having been this close to an animal. It triggers something in you, a recognition of a life. Totally unlike your own, but still somehow connected, parallel, even interwoven. The stray licks crumbs from its fur. Do you like it here? The stray flicks their tail at the sound of your voice. Hard to imagine the stray liking anything, at least being vulnerable enough to admit it. The stray's pleasure at existing here, in this place, shines through its every sinew. It's not that the stray is always happy on the eye, but that the stray is engaged by this place. It is alive here. You turn your eyes to the window. Oh! Silly Jungle Whispers, that event is past! I forgot to disable my timed event. Where is my send messages? Disable. There we go. You can't watch me speedrun, I already did it. You feel something pass between you and the stray. A kind of acknowledgement of each other. A sense that each of you might share something with the other. A point, a connection. Then all at once, the stray yawns wide, hops down from the unit and brushes along your legs. And then it is gone. Out through the unit door and back into the corridors of the low end. Can I feed it again? Repeatable action. I got so much money. I can feed the fuck out of this cat. This cat's gonna be fat. Sometimes they let you stroke them, sometimes not. Okay, the text isn't changing. Right. Cool. There's also the distillery. Finish this. Nice. Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, she grins. Overlook Distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. How's sourcing ingredients? Tala smiles. I think I've got most of it covered between the food factories in Low End and the farm stacks in the Greenway. However, she pauses. There is an issue. What's the problem? Well, Griot the drink, as you probably guessed it, named after Griot the mushroom. That's what gives it the golden color and earthy taste. The alcohol's infused with the mushrooms along with a mix of spices. That means you need Griot caps to make Griot. No one wants to supply us. Distilleries on the Greenway are taking all the stock from the farms out there. It's hard to get a single cap across Founder's Gap. However, I have an idea. She smiles. We can grow our own Griot caps here. She gestures at the increasingly equipment-filled back room. I can bring you mushrooms. Polly gives you a pitying look. Where's your vision? Any outside supplier means they take a cut. Okay, maybe not you, but someone, somewhere, takes a cut. Tala puts a hand on the still. We made a still. We set this up. How hard can be growing mushrooms be? They don't need light. They barely need soil. We can do this. She pauses. Or at least, we could if we had something to grow them from. Like spores? Exactly. Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap. And you are the perfect person to get me those spores. She nods rapidly. Think about it. You built the still, you're great with plants, and you know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Are you flattering me? If it's working, then yes? She grins sheepishly. Her sleeve? Her tattoo sleeve? Because I do agree, that is a fucking sick tattoo. Wherewithal. Look, I can't leave the bar, and other people are picking up shifts. She grimaces. I'm saying it has to be you. Fine. Wonderful. You'll love it over on the Greenway, I think. All that fresh air, open space. She sees your expression. Okay. I'm done. Turns back to look at the still and the fledgling distillery forming around it. Really is something though, isn't it? Want to or not, you really have to agree. Ah, my nose itches. Okay, so she needs 3 spores. Send to the hub. Work on the ambergris. AKA finish refitting the ambergris.